It unfolded gradually. At first, it was harmless, a compliment here and there from Andrew, a fellow manager at work. Then came the late-night phone calls, supposedly just to finish reports. Inside jokes began to form, followed by occasional dinners after hours. I convinced myself it was all strictly professional. I kept telling myself it meant nothing. But something about Andrew made me feel noticed again. Not in the way Eric, my husband, used to see me when we were younger. Somewhere along the way, between raising children, paying endless bills, and spending evenings side by side, yet worlds apart behind our own screens, we had drifted. I missed the feeling of being desired. The affair didn't begin with intention. It happened in a moment of weakness, and I regretted it immediately. I promised myself it was a one-time mistake. But that wasn't true. I rationalized it, blaming Eric's emotional distance, his silent presence at the dinner table, the way he turned away from me when he slept. Deep down, I knew none of that justified my betrayal. The guilt became unbearable. Each time I watched Eric wash the dishes, or kiss our daughter goodnight, I felt as though I was suffocating. He wasn't cruel. He wasn't indifferent. He was simply exhausted, just like me. And he didn't deserve what I was doing behind his back. That's when I made up my mind. I had to end it. I planned to cut Andrew out of my life completely, confess nothing, and fight to rebuild my marriage. I still believed we had a chance. I still believed in healing. So that day, I messaged Andrew. We need to meet. Just once more. We have to talk. He agreed. We met at his apartment, simply to say goodbye. Sitting across from him, tears already welling in my eyes, I whispered, I can't keep doing this. It's over. I love my husband, and I want to save my marriage before I lose him completely. Andrew tried to protest, but he could tell I meant it. He fell silent, nodding slowly. It was emotional, but not romantic. There were no embraces, no lingering touches. Just an ending. But fate wasn't going to let me close that chapter quietly. Because the door to his apartment wasn't locked. And in that moment, the very moment I thought I was doing the right thing, the door opened. And Eric walked in. Time seemed to freeze. I didn't even register his presence until I turned and saw the devastation written across his face. His eyes darted from me to Andrew, then back to me. His lips parted as if to speak, but no sound came.
He didn't yell.
He didn't ask questions. He simply stood there, paralyzed. Eric, I whispered, stepping towards him, heart racing violently inside my chest. Please listen. This isn't what you think.
I was ending it.
I swear, I was ending it. But I could tell he wasn't hearing me. His expression was hollow, his gaze unfocused, like something deep inside him had simply shut down. Without a word, he turned and walked out. No confrontation. No anger, just silence. That silence was louder than any accusation he could have thrown at me. I ran after him, down the stairs, but by the time I reached the street, he was gone. Hours later, I returned home, hoping he'd be there. But the house was silent. Half his clothes were missing from the closet. His car wasn't in the driveway. But what shattered me the most was the photo frame on his nightstand, the one from our wedding day. It was face down on the floor, its glass broken. That image still haunts me. I called. I texted. I emailed. Begging. Pleading. Pouring my heart out. I made a mistake. I was ending it. Please let me explain. Please come home. But there was no reply. Days went by. I had no idea where he was staying. Only that he wasn't with me anymore. Then, one day, I found a letter in the mailbox. There was no return address. No anger hidden in the words. Just heartbreak. He wrote, You had the chance to save us before you crossed that line. I saw you trying to leave him, but I also saw you standing there in the first place. And then, at the end, he wrote, Maybe someday I'll be ready to talk. But right now, I'm mourning the version of you I thought I knew. I cried for hours. I read that letter until my tears blurred the ink, then folded it carefully and placed it in my drawer. I didn't lose Eric because I failed to try. I lost him because I waited too long to start. I let the cracks between us deepen until they turned into fractures I couldn't repair. And in the end, it wasn't the affair that ended us. It was the silence that came after.